Signore, tutte le tue creature, così, Signore, tutte le tue creature. Laudato si, mi Signore, con tutte le tue creature. And the first guest for us today is a very special guest. Is the Bishop of Assisi, that tomorrow will stay with Pope Francis in the tomb of St. Francis. And we must to reflect today and to tell you that tomorrow all the people of us stay with you, stay with Monsignor Domenico Sorrentino. And is the first moment for St. Francis and fraternity.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So very happy to be with you, and it's a very joyful moment in waiting the great day of tomorrow when Pope Francis will sign it here, his Encyclical of Fraternity. So just 3 words, because you can understand these days I'm very, very busy. I'm in continuous video conferences, so I've had a conference in 10 minutes. And so I give you some words and then I tell you bye-bye. So, Brother Sun, Sister Moon, Sister Water, Sister our Mother Earth. Francis of Assisi's language is not a naive language, a kind of fairy tale for children. Encyclical of Laudato Si, and the next encyclical of Pope Francis that he will sign tomorrow here in Assisi, Brothers All, relaunch the concept of brotherhood at 360 degrees. It shouldn't be difficult to grasp its significance, given that this term was a flag of modernity when the French Revolution added it to the other 2 keywords of freedom and equality. But it is clear to everyone that fraternity was and is the weakest point of this program. The Pope relaunches it, like Francis of Assisi, starting from the one fraternity of God. A fraternity, therefore, anchored to the transcendent. Precisely by virtue of this transcendent anchorage, the Saint of Assisi could also apply it to all the realities of the world. In fact, all of them come from the one God. We are all creatures. Of course, we are different. A standardization of beings cannot be based on this concept, forgetting the specificity of each one. We cannot praise the dignity of all things to lower the dignity of the human being. In Laudato Si, the Pope says it clearly, insisting on the universal interconnection of all things, but also on the special dignity of the human being. Precisely by virtue of his identity, the human being is called to take care of creation, to guard the common good, and not to feel its master and tyrant. But the first aspect to be present of this common hope is the very constitution of the human being, in the spiritual and material aspect, in the psyche and in biology. It is worrying, writes Pope Francis, the fact that some ecological movements defend the integrity of the environment and rightly claim limits on scientific research, while sometimes they do not apply these same principles to human life. The rediscovery of fraternity in its human and cosmic face, starting from the one paternity of God, is done to restore the right balance and profound responsibility that we all bear for the construction of a more beautiful, just, and fraternal world. So thank you for your attention, and go on. Best wishes for your panel. I am spiritually with you, but now I have to go, and I say to everybody, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Thank you, Monsignor Sorrentino. Thank you. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. The fraternity, with the first moment with the Bishop of Assisi, we have this gaze, this important gaze. And with the second guest of today is Tonio dell'Olio. He is the president of the Commission Spirit of Assisi, Spirit of Assisi, the faith, prayer, and action for peace. And we remember the first meeting with the John Paul II, here in Assisi. And every month with the Bishop of Assisi, Tonio dell'Olio share the prayer for the peace every month. And in this moment, Tonio share with us this step for a truly universal fraternity.
Well, thank you, Antonio. I want to start to greet everyone is attending at this moment, but in particular at our friend and brother from Hebrew community and Islamic community that they speak after. But we do not yet know the text of the reflection that Pope Francis proposes to illuminate our prayers and our choices. We are sure that he will not fail to surprise us and, like Christ, to put us in crisis. We know that they will be words that will be presented to us as a challenge, because if the theme of that of fraternity and universal fraternity, brotherhood, cannot leave us alone. Fraternity is acceptance of one's own fragility and weakness of others. It is a continual exercise to understanding, forgiveness, and acceptance of those we know to be our brothers and sisters. But at the same time, here from Assisi, we learned the lesson of the life of the poorest brother named Francis, who, without heresy, dared to address all the elements of creation by calling God's creator and even more brothers and sisters. Even that is our sister with and like the sun and the moon, the stars and the earth. For this reason, universal fraternity goes beyond the human spaces alone and extends to the whole of creation. Not only does it overcome all racism, discrimination, marginalization, and apartheid, it is capable of looking with new eyes and words at every creature with whom we share the gift of existence. May the one God of life, love, and peace accompany us and support us in our purpose.
Light of the world, you stepped out into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made his heart adore you. Hope a life spent with you. And here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became poor. And here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. And here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Very thank you to Tonio because share for us the gaze, the new gaze, the universal gaze, because this question is the question of all the family of human, and for this reason also the encyclical dell'Olio is for the different generation, is for the different people, and this new encyclical, the gaze is very open. And for this, I am very, very happy to have the opportunity to share this sharing of Mariam Mourabi. Is a representative of the Youth Promotion Association of Young Muslims of Italy. And she talked about universal fraternity from the perspective of Islam. A te, Mariam.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We live in a wonderful planet, which amazes us every day for its richness and diversity. Observe nature, its beauty, its variety of colors, scenes, emotions it conveys. It can teach us a lot. Taking care of it is our duty. He who takes care of nature takes care of his fellow human beings. They are a direct consequence of each other. We are different. I see it every day in the hospital, meeting patients who have the same identical diseases but are treated and are better off the most varied therapies and treatments. The point is not equality. In fact, what we are talking about and for which we are united today to reflect is not being twins. It is fraternity. Brothers are never equal, but they always love each other despite everything and everyone. I want to leave you with a brief verse taken from chapter 49 of the Holy Quran. O man, We created you from a male and female, and formed you into nations and tribes, that you may recognize each other. He who has more integrity has indeed greater honor with God. Surely God is all-knowing and well-informed. Thank you. Peace be upon you.
Thank you, Mariam. The point is not equality, it is fraternity. And now we want to share another point of view with the Giulia Santoro. Is from the Union of Young Italian Jews. Is a young girl, very active in the country, in Turin, in the city where they live, with the community. And now we talk about universal fraternity from the Jewish perspective. A te, Giulia.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, the new Encyclical of Pope Francis is called Fratelli Tutti. Today, we focus our attention on the importance of the meaning of fraternity and social friendship at a time when faith seems lost because of the coronavirus. I asked myself, what do we have to do to change the situation? How can we improve people's faith and trust? First, what is the meaning of fraternity? For me, the word fraternity stands for tolerance, faith, and sharing. We live in a world where hatred is still present among people and ignorance does not help at all. The key that leads to a more tolerant perspective is the verb to listen, which is different from the verb to hear. The radical difference is that the former is an action that implies an attention and willingness to listen, to learn and to share, while the latter is an action that is not always voluntary. We can hear people talking in the street and we can hear noises. Listening to people is an art. It is a very important characteristic of the human being, and it is a gift from God. When I see open people who are willing to share their perspectives, traditions, and beliefs, I am always grateful because it is an opportunity for me to learn more, and to grow as an individual and as a person. One of the most important moments when the term fraternity is pronounced in the Jewish tradition is during the 7 blessings when we get married. In Hebrew, the term ahava means fraternity, and the 7th blessing that is pronounced when 2 people get married says, "Blessed Lord, King of the universe, that you have created joy and gladness, groom and bride, joy and exultation, pleasure and delight, love, fraternity, peace, and communion." This means that all human beings are created by God and all have the same rights and duties, even though everyone should find their own different path of growth. Thank you very much for the opportunity you gave me to participate in this meeting, and I wanted to share you a poem that is very meaningful for me. Dear friends, here I say friends, in the broad sense of the word, wife, sister, relatives, companions, and schoolmates, people seen once or practiced for life, as long as between us, for at least one moment, a segment has been stretched, a well-defined rope. I say for you, companions of a journey, dance, not without fatigue, and for you as well, who have lost the soul, the desire for life, or no one, or someone, or maybe just one, or you, that you read to me. Remember the time before the walks hardened, when everyone was like a seal. Each one of us bears the imprint of the friend met, because of in each one the track of each one. For good or evil, in wisdom or in madness, each printed by each. Now that time is pressing from near, that the enterprises are finished. To all of you, the subdued wish that autumn is long and mild. This is a poem by Primo Levi. Thank you very much.
When I am down and hold my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart's burden be, and I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
We can to see with big pleasure your comment in the chat box for the sharing of the interpretation of Mariam, of Julia. Is very, very important moment for sharing different gaze. But now is the moment also of the different generation. We listen to people, young people, but now is the moment of an important professor. Maciej is a scientist and environment protection and sustainable development. He have a great story in Poland because he is with the politics with this prize, the Deutsche Wednesday Prize, is a prize for environmental pledge. And the prof talk about the Sunday of St. Francis and the response to the call to action of the season of creation.
Good afternoon for everybody. I am very happy to be together with you, with all of you, in such important day. In the Encyclical of Pope Francis, Pope Francis called us to follow the example of the Saint of Assisi and hear both the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. We Europeans belong to 20% of the richest people on our planet, exploiting more than 80% of its natural resources. So, we are the most responsible for perhaps the cry of the earth, changing our lifestyle, buying less needless things, wasting less food, producing less waste. We are also responsible for the fate of the poor people, both in our own countries and living in other countries. We, as Christians, should at last awake our conscience to make charity as our distinctive sign. We take care about our bank account for saving our old age. But do we really take care about the facts to other people, gaining good eternity for our souls? Day after tomorrow, we will celebrate in Poland St. Francis Sunday. It will be the day of prayer and day of making many small initiatives in our parishes for changing them to be more green, more friendly to people, and more friendly to the environment. We want to feel better, feel better our brotherhood with both poor people and with other, our brother sun, our sister water, and with the whole creation. We do hope that the good seeds we are sowing now will give good crops already in the near future. Let us pray to God for that.
Thank you, Professor Nowicki. We pray, let's pray to God for that. And also with the different gaze, also with the different perspective, also with different stories. But we have the relation with our Father, our God. And also for this, in this moment, we want to keep your sharing. You are welcome to leave your share, suggestion, and through in the chat to communicate to all present at this time. And we have a little moment of music, and you are invited to share what you think now. start with the music, Luca.
Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si il Signore con tutte le tue creature.
Thank you for the gift. Thank you for your sharing. I am very, very happy to see different language, different prayer, different level of the prayer. And from Assisi, I live here in Assisi, I can to keep our prayer and to go in the tomb of St. Francis and to present all our prayer. I live here is a good gift that God give to me. I want to share this opportunity for all the people of all the world that tomorrow want to be here with the Pope Francis, in this very, very important moment. We pray because it's the moment of the truly fraternity. And now we go in the conclusion of this moment of reflection with Gabriel Lopez Santamaria. Is the important manager of communication of the Global Catholic Climate Movement. A te, Gabriel.
Grazie, Antonio. Good afternoon, everyone. The season of creation concludes next Sunday, but tomorrow, when Pope Francis signs his new encyclical, a new season begins, the season of fraternity. St. Francis of Assisi, who called all creation sisters and brothers, recognized that we all share a common Father, the Creator. But if we recognize in creation the footprint of the Creator, how can we be indifferent to its destruction and looting? Now begins a time of fraternity. Fraternity that doesn't mean uniformity of thought. It means that each of us renounces a part of our truth for the common good. The ecological and social crisis we are facing require all of us to work together to resolve it. It is not enough for some to get involved in the task. This is a mission for everyone. It is a mission in which we must get engaged as brother and sister and defend our common home. Can you imagine a house in which, in one room, a brother lives in the dark, tied to a bed, and eating waste as a prisoner, while in another sunny room, a sister eats in abundance and perfect freedom? What if in the same house, the parents live clinging to the television screen, disconnected from the reality, indifferent to the suffering of one of their children? This is our common home. Some have abundance at the expense of the hunger of others, and many remain indifferent. That is why it is necessary to start a season of fraternity, so as not to leave anyone behind, to build together the world that our children will inherit. The question, what kind of world do we want to leave to those who succeed us, to the children who are growing up, is a clear call to defend the most vulnerable, those who have not yet been born. It is for them that we must fight this battle. The defense of the common home and the fight for climate justice, it is also a part of the pro-life battle. Every year, thousands of older people and children die as a result of the climate crisis. Defending life from its conception to its natural death and preserving creation for future generations, this is the pro-life challenge. The season of creation has united millions of Christians of different denominations and sisters and brothers of other religions through the world. We know we can work together. We can put aside what separates us to look into each other's eyes and recognize ourselves in the other. We can do it. It is time to do it. Please, let's do it. Peace and good. Grazie, Antonio.
Grazie, Gabriel. Please, let's do it. Is the invitation with the St. Francis Sunday. The season of creation go for the end, but is not the end of our action. The prayer must to burn in us the call to action. We must to have the prophetic advocacy from climate justice. And the invite for everybody now is the sign, the petition we stay with Pope Francis. So we can to sign this important pledge for the first action and after our action in our local reality. Thank you for everybody, for all the people that share with us our thing, and all the people that is now with us from all the parts of the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The splendor of a king, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide. It trembles at this voice, trembles at this voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And the whole will see how great is our God. And age to age he stands, and time is in his hand, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The God and the three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And the whole will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart is singing now. Great is our God, the God is three in one. Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And don't we see how great is our God? Name above all names, worthy of all praise. thank you to everyone